I was born to do this. I am not afraid. Everything I have said and done has been in the hands of God.
I even taught little Claire all my favorite screen combat moves, didn't I?
You've never told me that.
What was that?
It's a quote from Joan of Arc. She also killed an awful lot of men before that.
Over and over and over and over and over!
Getting too tight.
No, please!
You're still here, Bob.
The story begins with a girl named Clare Bleecker who keeps repeating a line to herself. Everything I have said and done has been the hands of God. I was born to do this. I am not afraid. As she speaks those words, a memory pulls us back to her childhood. She is on a school trip when a dangerous man attacks. The other children run. Clare does not. She picks up a rock and ends the threat herself. That moment never leaves her. Because of what she witnessed and survived, Clare grows up believing that certain men are predators. This belief takes root deep inside her, and over time, it shapes the way she sees the world and her place in it. She begins to think of herself as someone chosen to confront that evil, a kind of self-made saint. Her parents are gone. After losing them, she drifted between towns before settling with her grandmother in this city, where she also attends the local college. To those around her, Clare appears deeply religious, but that is not quite right. Her sense of mission has nothing to do with faith in the traditional sense. It is something more personal, more symbolic, tied to a role she has decided she must play. Then,
I was born to do this. I am not afraid. Everything I have said and done has been in the hands of God.
one afternoon after class, Clare waits at the bus stop. Two girls pass by and tell her the bus is not coming. She is alone. Before she can walk away, a car pulls up. The man inside sets off every alarm inside her. The way he looks at her, the way he speaks, nothing about him feels right. He spins a story about picking up his daughters and not knowing the route. He asks for directions, Clare tells him, but that is not enough for him. He pushes, lingers, and offers her money to sit inside the car. Something in her shifts. She gets in. When they reach the street she named, the car does not stop. That is all the confirmation she needs. And quietly, she begins to repeat those same words again. Joe hears her whispering and asks what she is saying. Clare tells him it is a quote from Joan of Arc. She adds that Joan burned in the end, but before she died, she stopped many wicked men. Then Clare attacks him.
What was that?
It's a quote from Joan of Arc. She also killed an awful lot of men before that.
No hesitation, no fear. She had walked into that car knowing exactly what she intended to do. The vehicle spirals, crashes, and Joe does not survive. Clare does. She climbs out, composes herself, and begins removing anything that could point toward her. By the time she is done, it looks like an accident. And from the calm, practiced way she works, it feels like this is not the first time. In her mind, none of it is wrong. She believes she is doing something necessary, something good. When she arrives home that evening, Juliana and Grandma Gigi are dancing in the living room. Clare is hours late, and Juliana is frustrated. They were supposed to study for exams. She pushes Clare with questions, but Clare gives nothing away. Nobody in that house knows who she really is. They eat dinner together. Gigi drifts into old stories about her days as an actress. After a while, Juliana leaves.
I even taught little Claire all my favorite screen combat moves, didn't I?
You've never told me that.
And Gigi falls asleep in her chair with a drink still in her hand. Clare heads to her room and immediately senses something is off. Then Bob appears. Bob is not alive. He died a month ago, slipping and falling while the two of them were talking. Clare did not cause it. He was drunk, unraveling over a wife who had betrayed him. But since that night, he lives inside her head. He shows up uninvited, speaks when he likes, and somehow carries a lightness that does not belong in Clare's world. He is the only thing in this story that makes her almost smile. She talks to him often, and Gigi has noticed. It worries her.
No, please!
You're still here, Bob.
The next morning at college, Clare is with Juliana and a classmate named Amity Liston when she hears that a girl went missing last year, and now Joe has been found dead. The police are already on campus and want to speak with the students. The missing girl's name is Teresa Holmes. Hearing it unsettles Clare in a way she did not expect. Detective Timmons calls her in and asks where she was between 2 and 8 in the afternoon. Clare answers smoothly, but inside, she is barely holding on. Joe's face keeps surfacing in her mind, and she nearly loses herself right there in that room. Timmons wraps up the interview continue before she reaches that edge. Claire walks out, shaken. She is afraid the walls are beginning to close in. Bob tells her no one suspects a thing. She wants to believe him. That same afternoon, Amity's ex-boyfriend Wade Brandon offers Claire a ride. She would normally refuse, but Detective Timmons is standing close by, watching. She gets in. Wade is warm toward her, easy in a way that feels rehearsed. He invites her to a party and asks her not to mention it to Amity. Claire agrees, though not with any real enthusiasm. During the drive, he brings up a boy named Truman, and the tension in his voice when he says the name is hard to miss. That evening, Claire talks to Bob and makes a decision. She is going to stop. No more going after dangerous men. She is going to try and live something close to a normal life. She goes to the party. Truman is there, moving through the crowd with a camera, photographing people. He takes one of Claire. They speak briefly, nothing significant, and then the night swallows them both back into the noise. Wade watches her from across the room. The way his eyes follow her says more than anything he has spoken aloud. Then the police arrive and everyone scatters. Claire slips away looking for a bathroom and pushes open the wrong door. She steps into Wade's room. The photographs are pinned across the wall. Girls caught unaware. Bodies framed without permission. One of the faces is Amity's. Claire stands there and looks at all of it, and the decision she made that evening begins to come apart. She is almost out of the room when Wade appears in the doorway. He watches her, asks what she was doing in there. Claire keeps her voice level and tells him she got lost. She leaves as quickly as she can without running. On the walk home, a car moves slowly through the street behind her. She follows it to a house and stops at the edge, watching. She does not go further, not yet, but the promise she made to herself is already broken. Those photographs have done what Joe's behavior did, what the man from her childhood did. The trauma surfaces, and with it, the old certainty. Something is happening in this town, and she cannot pretend she does not see it. She goes to Amity and asks if she ever noticed anything strange about Wade. It is the wrong move. Amity's expression hardens. She accuses Claire of going behind her back, of attending his party, of trying to get close to him. She does not want to hear what Claire is trying to say. So, Claire looks on her own. What she finds stops her cold. Over the past several years, more than 50 girls have disappeared from this area. One of the faces from the missing persons records matches the photograph she saw pinned to Wade's wall. She runs to find Juliana. Someone has to understand how serious this is. Juliana does not want to hear it. She is still angry about the party, about being left out, and that anger sits between them like a wall. Claire pushes, but Juliana pushes back harder. She walks away, and Claire is left standing there with everything she knows and no one willing to listen. At college the next day, Claire spots Detective Timmons near Amity. She does not wait to find out what they are discussing. She slips away and finds herself in the theater, where rehearsals for an upcoming play are underway. She approaches her teacher and talks her way into a small role. It is not about the play. It is about having somewhere to be, somewhere that looks ordinary. But Timmons finds her anyway. He pulls her to the dean's office and sits across from her with the patience of someone who already believes he is right. He thinks she is hiding something, and he presses. Claire does not crack. Instead, she turns it around. She tells him that girls in this town have been disappearing for years, that something serious is happening, and that she intends to find out what. Timmons listens without much reaction and sends her away. She goes home with the missing girls still turning in her mind. She wants to follow the thread, but every step forward risks pulling her own secret into the light. She sits with that tension until Bob speaks up. He tells her she has to finish what she started. Then he points her toward Oak Street. Claire understands. She thinks of Joan of Arc, the same woman she described to Joe before his death. Someone who moved through the darkness to stop it. Bob looks at her and reminds her gently not to share Joan's fate. The audience already knows how that story ended. That night, Claire slips into the house on Oak Street. What she finds inside is methodical and cold. A camera on a tripod, a sofa positioned to face it, and photographs, many of them, showing girls at parties, expressions slack, eyes unfocused, clearly unaware of what was happening around them. There is also a file, something that reads less like a record and more like a selection list, as if the girls were being evaluated and chosen for something. Then she finds her own photograph, taken at Wade's party, taken by Truman. Her suspicion narrows and sharpens. Truman is part of this, and whatever this is, it is far larger and more organized than she first understood. The following day at college, rehearsals continue. Claire's teacher, Cole Edwards, gives her the male lead. Amity, who had expected that role for herself, cannot hide her anger. During practice, something shifts inside Claire. The trauma rises without warning. When Truman approaches her to talk, she does not wait for him to finish. She hits him and tells him to stay away. He stumbles back, confused and shaken. Claire walks out, and then she sees it. A missing poster on the wall outside. Juliana's face stares back at her. Everything she feared has happened. Her chest tightens, and the frustration of the past few days collapses into something more urgent and more desperate. She goes home. Her grandmother is waiting with a knife she found in Claire's drawer, and the worry on her face has turned into something harder. She tells Claire she is not stable, that she is in over her head, and that she needs to step back from all of this. Claire refuses. She says they have to find Juliana. That is when her grandmother finally breaks. No more college. No going out. Claire comes home immediately after class. Every day, without exception. She demands to know about the knife. Claire tells her it is for protection. Her grandmother grandmother does not accept that. She asks why Claire sneaks out at night. Claire tells her she cannot control her. She is not her mother. The words land hard. Her grandmother's eyes fill with tears. She tells Claire quietly that she already lost her daughter once. She will not lose her too. Later, alone in her room, a memory surfaces. Claire is young again, and her mother is kneeling in front of her, voice low, telling her never to speak of what happened. Never tell anyone. No one will believe you did it to protect someone. Claire has been carrying that silence ever since. A curfew now covers the entire town following Juliana's disappearance. The next morning, Claire goes to church. She sits in the stillness and looks up at the statue of the Virgin Mary, and for a moment, she sees Juliana's face in place of it. A plea, a reminder. She makes her decision. She finds Truman at his studio and walks in with a knife. She wants answers. Why did he photograph unconscious girls? Where is Juliana? Truman falls apart immediately. He tells her his camera was stolen. The photographs she saw were part of a project, reconstructions of existing images, nothing more. He did not take the ones from the house. When Claire shows him one of the photos, he studies it and tells her he recognizes the location, even though the image is not his. It is the same house. At the church, the entire town gathers for the vigil. Candles, silence, worry worn openly on every face. Claire's grandmother arrives and immediately realizes she is gone again. She moves through the crowd, searching, her eyes wet, her hands unsteady. She cannot lose her. She cannot go through that again. Detective Timmons is there too, watching. The scene does not linger. There are other things happening in the dark. Claire is already at Randall Morton's door, Joe's brother. She holds up Juliana's missing poster and waits. Randall looks at it and gives her nothing. So, Claire asks for a glass of water, a small request, a foot in the door. He lets her in. Whatever is in the glass works quickly. Claire feels the room tilt and then disappears. When she opens her eyes, she is in the basement, wrists bound, and Randall is standing over her with quiet satisfaction. His target came to him. He did not even have to go looking. Juliana is on the same bed, barely conscious, her body already spent from however long she has been here. Before Claire can fully gather herself, men arrive to collect Juliana. Randall stops them. He has other plans for Claire first. He wants to record her. She is a product, he says, as if the word means nothing. Claire lets him believe she is still weak. Then she moves. She takes down two of the men before Randall grabs Juliana and presses a pair of scissors against her throat. Claire goes still. She finds a gun on the floor and raises it at him. But she cannot pull the trigger, not with Juliana that close. The standoff holds. Then sirens outside. Claire screams for help. Randall smiles. The officer who walks through the door is Detective Timmons. He takes in the scene, sees his men on the floor, and his expression shifts from composed to cold. Claire keeps the gun up. Randall throws the scissors. She fires. Randall goes down, but does not go quietly. She turns to Timmons and asks him what they were going to do with the girls. He does not answer. Behind her, Randall's hand closes around Juliana's throat, still fighting. Claire spins and pulls Juliana free. In that moment, Timmons walks out the door. Before Randall loses consciousness for the last time, Claire leans close and tells him she enjoyed ending his brother's life. She wants to go after Timmons, but Juliana is shaking and cannot stand on her own, and she needs Claire more than Claire needs revenge right now. She steadies her. They wash up. Claire changes into the clothes she had hidden in advance and then makes two calls, first to the media, then to the police. Her voice is calm, measured. She says she only came to ask about her missing friend. She says she found her in the basement. She sounds like someone who stumbled into a nightmare rather than someone who walked into it on purpose. She goes home and sits in front of the television watching herself give the interview. She calls out for her grandmother. No answer. She crosses the room and finds her on the sofa, still gone. The grief does not arrive slowly. It breaks all at once, and Claire folds under the weight of it. Then Timmons steps out of the shadow behind her. He has been waiting. Claire looks at him through her tears and tells him he has taken the last person she had left. Timmons tells her he did not come to kill her. He came to offer her something. She has no family now, no one to answer to, no one to protect. In his world, that makes her free. He tells her she is special, fearless, built differently from anyone he has ever encountered. He needs someone exactly like her. They would make serious money, he says. She would never have to hide again. Claire listens to every word. While he speaks, she notices her grandmother's hand resting at her side. The knife is in it. Her grandmother had found it and was still holding it when she died. Claire reaches over gently and takes it. Then she tells Timmons she will never be part of what he runs. He nods slowly, as if he expected that answer. He tells her he has done his research. He traced her path through every town she ever lived in. The accidents, the unexplained deaths. He pieced it together and he knows about Joe. All of it. He lays it in front of her like a set of chains and tells her that if she refuses, everything surfaces. Claire looks at him and says she believes in what she does. She is not afraid of being found out. She attacks him. They struggle through the room. Claire tries to break for the door, but Timmons is larger and faster than she expects. He catches her and strikes her hard enough to send her over the edge and into the lake below. The cold water pulls her under, and in the dark beneath the surface, the visions come, flames rising around her, encircling her, the same fire that consumed Joan of Arc. But this does not feel like an ending. It feels like something burning away and something else being left behind. Timmons watches the water settle and turns to leave. Claire rises from behind him. Her hands find his neck, and she does not let go. Later, the world moves on the way it always does. passes. Clare heals. The grief over her grandmother sits with her the way grief does, quietly and without a schedule. Bob still appears, still talks to her the way only he can, and she finds some comfort in that, even knowing what he is. She remains what she has always been, someone doing what she believes must be done, in ways no one will ever fully trace back to her. On the day of the college play, she is getting ready when Amity appears at her door and tells her she is going to be wonderful. Then Bob speaks. He tells her there is one thing left. He gives her a number, 1713. Clare turns it over in her mind, and then Amity steps away and leaves her phone behind by accident. Clare looks at it. She enters the code. The message is open. She reads them slowly, and the warmth she felt a moment ago drains out of the room. Amity was recruited by Gibbs, and Gibbs had given her a single instruction: end Clare's life. Clare sets the phone down. Outside, the audience is settling into their seats. The performance is about to begin. Clare walks backstage, deep in thought. She looks at the props and finds the stage knife. She swaps it for a real one. Then she repeats the same words one more time. Everything I have said and done has been the hands of God. I was born to do this. I am not afraid. And the movie ends here. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.